Hello everyone, today we're going to be talking about the Edmonton Oilers and their recent struggles. Now before we start, please make sure to subscribe if you are new. Now let's get to it. So, the Oilers are actually on fire to start out the year at 16-5-0, and then they've just dropped in the standings thanks to a slump through 12 games where they went 2-8-2. What is the problem? Well, there's way too many problems to fit in one video that would be under 10 minutes. But we'll say one of the things it does with depth. So let's focus on the combination of McDavid and Draisaitl. Before these two had this stretch where it was in this 12 games, they combined for 42.7% of the team goals. Now, during the slump, it's dropped down to 31%. Does that mean those two haven't been productive in that time? Absolutely not. They have been very productive. But a team that has depth would be able to combat this and be fine. Problem is, the Oilers don't have a crazy amount of depth, which is something I worried about for them when I made my season preview. And some people said that they weren't concerned about it. I was, and it's looking like this could be an issue for them now. And the Oilers, before this slump, were averaging 3.9 goals per game through their first 21 games, and now have averaged 2.42 the past 12 contests. That's a big drop-off. And what's even more concerning is that in those 12 games, 51.7% of those goals have come in 3 games. They all averaged 5 goals in those 3 games where that 51.7% of the goals came from. So you look at that and you think, wow, like 49%, almost 48% of those goals have come in the other 9 games. That is very concerning. And I just think that this is going to be a problem for them because guys like Kyler Yamamoto and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins have not been able to produce in the way the fan base would like. Are they useless as players? Definitely not. That is not the case. Kyler, obviously a very young, promising player, and RNH, he has been a guy that is very good for a very long time, but he's been kind of snake-bit with his shooting percentage this year. It is at a career low, and for a guy that gives you 20-plus goals a year if you're Edmonton, it is kind of tough because they're not getting that scoring from him. I think he's only got 3 goals through 30 games. He might not hit double digits this year. That's crazy. And for the Oilers, things might have an impact going forward because of this slump. I mean, you look at Dave Tippett, current head coach of the Edmonton Oilers. He is probably going to have to get used to being referred to as the former Edmonton coach, if you catch my drift. With him in charge since, 2019-20, they have been able to win games, but they have not won anything meaningful. They haven't won in the playoffs. They haven't won a division title. They haven't won anything meaningful in his time. And this slump might just be the straw that broke the camel's back for his job security. Team chemistry could be a question too. We are really going to have to see what happens from here, as goalie Mikko Koskinen has responded back to Tippett's criticism of him, of the netminder, saying, quote, "It's not nice being thrown under the bus. I have to be better, but at the same time, we scored 7 goals in my last 6 losses. I can't score goals, and it's not always up to the goalkeeper alone to win or lose. The whole team needs to play better in the future," end quote. We'll see how that storyline develops, because I don't think that was a crazy shot at anybody. He does have a point. They have to do better. But yeah, I mean, you're kind of looking at this. If that's true, I haven't gone back and looked through his game logs. I believe it. The Oilers have had some real stinkers as of late, and we're going to see if that impacts Mikko's future with the team, and time will tell. Also, you have to wonder, Connor McDavid, could this be another year that he looks back and reflects at what could have been or where his career is headed? That is a big thing that we have to see, and maybe not. I think that he won't demand a trade. I don't think that he'll do that right now. I think that he could, though, because, yes, well, I know he has that mansion built up in Alberta, either in or around Edmonton. You can't deny a player like him who is outworldly, from a different planet with the way he is and how good he is. He has got to be looking at other guys around the league and other cities and franchises and saying, I want what they have, where they are contending for a cup, which the team has not done so far with him. They only won a single round during his time in the Connor era, and he's already in his 7th year in the league. That feels impossible to say. Can't believe in 3 years it'll be a decade. He's 25, so I doubt that he's going to hit the panic button just yet. But winning the cup in the next few years is going to be something that, as he gets older, that's going to be on his mind more. And eventually, an eternal clock will probably start ticking in a guy like him because he is so competitive. Again, nothing factual. It's just all talk right here. Just kind of a what if. But for a team that was potentially on their way to winning a division title for the first time since 19 87. This is it's just crazy because they could miss out on the playoffs. This has got to be an eye-opener for the locker room. I know that there are still a ton of games left to be played, over half the season, but they're struggling right now, and they have to get it together because they only have a 1-point lead for the final wildcard spot. And if trends mean anything, these final games, these final 49 games, could be a struggle for them. Again, if these trends hold, they won't. There will be some positive and some negative, but I don't know. Winnipeg is right on their heels. LA, I believe, is right on their heels. Who's to say Edmonton could miss out, especially now that Connor McDavid has tested positive for COVID. I don't think he'll be playing tonight for the Maple Leafs because I think he retested and was positive again for COVID. So that is another thing for them that they have to deal with. And we'll see how it goes. What do you think is the problem in Oiler Nation? This is your time to vent, Oilers fans. Obviously, there's not just one thing that's wrong with this team. There are a variety of things that are wrong with this team. And it's been even just more than a few years back. There are some things that have gone back quite a few years. Now, also, do you think Edmonton will make the playoffs? Let me know down below. If you enjoyed this video, then make sure to give the video a thumbs up. And if you want to subscribe to see more of my content, hockey content, I would appreciate that so much. Everybody, stay safe. Have a great night. You go love hockey, all right? Goodbye, Brigadiers and Brigadettes. This is your captain signing off. Have a great night.